Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the Snooker 19 Pro career with Neil Robertson. Today it is time for part 81 of Season 4 and the beginning of the final of the Coral Tour Championship. Our final ever Coral event we're going to play in this career mode, and for the first time we've got to the final, so it'd be great to crown off all the Coral events and finally add one to the trophy cabinet. But first we've got to get to 9 frames before this man does, Judd Trump. And looking at the matchup history between ourselves and Judd Trump, it's fairly well in Judd Trump's favour for Season 4 at least. We played him 6 times this season and he's beaten us 4 times. The first of those in the semi-final of the Shanghai Masters, where he beat us quite convincingly. We've had some close matches with him, the likes of that 3-2 in the World Open, the 6-5 defeat in the Scottish Open semi-final that stopped us doing the home nation sweep and stopped us in our tracks. But since then, the Grand Prix beat us quite emphatically, and the Gibraltar Open quarter-final you saw only a few episodes ago. It was close, but we just about lost that one. But it's fair to say we are back to our best with some brilliant results in this Tour Championship so far. We beat Mark Selby 5-0 in the quarter-final, and we beat John Higgins by 6 frames to 2 in the semis. So hopefully we can continue that sort of form going into this final against Judd Trump. It's been a while since we played in a final. The last time we played in a final was the German Masters, and we've been on a little bit of a rut, it's fair to say. We've been in a rut since then. We've only got to quarter-finals as maximum since then. We've not got any further than a quarter-final since the German Masters. But today, we have eclipsed that. We beat Selby, we beat Higgins to get here. 2 very strong results, and now we face Judd Trump to lift the Coral Tour Championship trophy. And it could be our last final, so we better make the most of it. Because, as I say, we've only got 2 tournaments left after this in the career mode. We've got the China Open and the World Championship, and there's no guarantees we're going to do well in either of those. But if we can win this final, I mean, the fact we've just even got to this final shows that we're in good form before the 2 most lucrative tournaments of the season, with a combined prize money of £750,000 if we win the 2. But this isn't far behind. It's £150,000 if we win this. We've already won ourselves £60,000 as a result of getting to the final. Of course, didn't take part in this tournament 2 years ago. So everything we earn goes on to our ranking prize money allocation. Got an early chance here. I'm just looking to see what the angle's like on the black. It's a good start early on. Wouldn't hurt us at all. Now we're just going to play the opening 4 frames today's episode. Do this across 3 different sessions. So we'll play frames 5 to 10 in Monday's episode, and then 11 to 17, if we get that far, which I'm fairly sure we will, in the episode after that. But we've potted the black, but unfortunately we've underhit that, which means that our position has all gone wrong. So the only real solution here, I think, is to play into the reds. If we played safe, there's always a danger of leaving a red on, which, surprisingly, Judd Trump has done there. That's a very weird shot, but we'll take it.
This is a half chance.
Just about drops in, but I don't think we've got an angle on the black this time. No, we haven't. So, tricky start. We're not certainly getting in and clearing up in one visit, that's for sure.
This requires a really good strike.
I don't think that's gone long enough either. It might have done, might have just gone long enough, but let's see. No, hasn't gone long enough this, and we are struggling to get going a little bit here. Let's try and play this with side. Try and play with a bit more power so we can try and get on the black.
That looks safe to all intents.
It's a good pot, and it's not a bad position from there either. But to be honest, I just don't think it's good enough. I think we'll struggle to get onto red after that. So we'll go with the safe decision of the blue. Playing back down off the side cushion for the red.
Good cueing.
Stroked in as smooth as you like. 12.
And this is more in our favour now. We can pick our own position rather than going for long hops where We haven't really got much control of position. And the cue balls ran on a little bit too long there, but it should be okay. As we're going to try and bust open the reds.
I can't see any
Got to pop the
problems.
black first, obviously. Wow.
That's a pretty careless foul there.
Well, for a kick-off, we missed the black.
Neil Robertson.
But we also, if you missed it, as I kind of did, I saw it in the corner of my eye,
1.
that we potted a red. We potted a red up bulk, and what are the chances of that from that sort of split? So, bad shot played there.
9.
But luckily, it wasn't the crash into the reds that we sometimes get, so it's not giving too much away. It's a chance to judge Trump, though, nonetheless.
13.
It's not the best position. He's just going to play safe here. So a bit of a stuttering start from both players. Obviously, I don't know how Judd Trump's got on in his matches before the final.
Safety shot.
But in a tournament like this, you've got to play fairly well to get here. There's no easy draws. Obviously, it's all the top 8 in the world that play in this.
Great shot.
So we know he's got to have beaten Mark Allen, Mark Williams, Ronnie O'Sullivan or Dingsham Wheatley. 2 of those 4 to get here. Tough long pot this, but it's there.
Great positional shot. He'll be happy with
And the Reds have slightly opened themselves up here.
1.
And this is a risky shot on the blue. But if we can take this... I mean, actually looking at it, the Reds are a little bit open, yeah, but there's not really too much on. There's 1, 2 Reds. That's not as bad as I originally thought. Got to play us at pace, though, and we've got to make sure we're accurate, or else we're letting Judd Trump right back in. It's there. Good pot. Good pot that was, at pace.
position here.
Those can very easily stay out.
6.
Where's the cue ball going?
Not
It's
perfect
okay.
position.
7.
Trying to get just enough topspin to play for the
This is tough.
red nearest the pink down to the black pocket. And that'll do.
That's a wonderful.
Don't need to run too far that it's blocked by the blue, but that'll do.
13.
So maybe not a conventional open frame,
Oh, he's taking it
but
on.
this is the first real chance, you would say, to take a good points haul
Excellent
and
cueing.
get the first frame on the board in this final.
14.
I think it's fair to say that I'd take 2 each in this session. Just getting at the interval and not be behind.
This looks relatively easy.
Because that second session is where it all happens. We saw that in our match against John Higgins in the English Open final. But funnily enough, it doesn't really support my theory too much because John Higgins had such a good second session, we couldn't live with him. But then equally, we had a brilliant third session, and as a result, we went and won the final. I think it was 6 frames in a row. 7-3 behind after the second session.
30.
And if memory serves me correct, we went in at, I think, it was either 2 each or 3-1 down. But it wasn't a massive
Well, this shot.
change. But John Higgins dominated that second session. And by rights, he should have won that final.
36.
I don't know how we managed to win 6 in a row.
Just the red required.
And just the red needed for us to win this first frame. And although it was a little bit of a, I don't know if dodgy is the right word, it was certainly a stuttering start.
The right centre pocket.
After a little bit of a stuttering start, we've got a little bit of our mojo now, and we've won the first frame. It's always the best way to start. Fairly short session, this 4 frames. I was going to do this in 2 parts, but I thought, no, we'll give this match justice, because it could be our final. Eh,
44.
could be our last ever final, so I want to give
Long pot.
the coverage it
Point
deserves,
3.
and the respect it deserves, I suppose, rather than maybe rushing through it. That wasn't one of our best attempts on the blue, though, I must confess. It isn't going to matter, but a little bit of concern. You know, we should be potting those balls. I mean, the position was good, so that's one thing, but your position can be great. If you don't pot the ball, then it's a waste of time. But a good start. We've won the opening frame in this final, and that is, well, again, put it this way, it's certainly not a Mark Williams-esque break-off, is it? I was watching the World Seniors yesterday, and Tennis Taylor made that break-off in his final ever frame. Oh, dear. He did a good job of it, you know. He did a good job of that break-off. Lost the frame, though, and that was his last ever competitive frame. He's retired from the World Seniors Tour. Oh, that's going to be wayward. It's gone a lot wayward, in fact. So, we'll change tack.
Well, he's
never ideal.
This into the right corner pocket.
Which makes it a trickier shot. Obviously, he was going for that one on the cushion originally.
What a wonderful pot.
But we've come back nicely for the blue.
7.
I'd be half inclined to try and open up the reds here, but after our last attempt, I've just got a little bit of... I'm just a little bit sceptical.
Nicely onto a red.
12.
I'm going to try and pick open the little chance we've got first before trying to make any serious inroads. The problem is this black's an awkward angle, so can't really play for that. However, we've almost come in no man's land here.
13.
Where we're not really on anything as such.
This is really tricky.
So we need a good blue.
Brilliant
It's
shot.
there this time.
Position looks pretty good.
And how's this going to land for us? Is it going to land on the red? It's come a bit far, but I'll tell you what, that's not bad. That is not bad at all from where we were. Still a tricky shot, mind, down the cush.
That's an unforced
No.
error. Very surprising.
Well, you might say we shouldn't have took that on.
Robertson.
I hinted at that myself. When we played that original blue, we were just hoping for something. It was very much a hit and hope shot, and that was the shot I thought originally might have went wayward. But I thought, well, you know, we're counting our lucky stars if we think we can keep going at this.
8.
So very similar to the last frame, you know, a bit of a stuttered start, but we don't leave too much on for Judd Trump, so he's got to make his own opportunity here.
16.
I'm presuming he can see the red past the black. He can't. Wow, that was a misjudgment of all misjudgments. Wow. And he's very nearly potted the cue ball. It's almost like, yes, he has played safe there, but
That's an excellent shot.
I don't know. I don't feel like he really meant that. Let's get ourselves back up to bulk. Okay, we've left a half chance on. But he isn't going to be fazed by that. Not going to take it on. I might be tempted to take it on because I'm an idiot, but no, we'll skip out on that one. And there's not a lot we can leave on apart from that red that's near to the pocket, which is what he's going to go for now. Or maybe not. Maybe he was just playing safe on that. Seemed a funny old shot though. Don't want it to hit the green full ball, but it's okay because it's still, I think, oh no it doesn't, I don't think, block that red.
That well. Tough shot, but he could have played it better.
Is he going for the pot this time? Yeah, he is.
That's a top shot.
But he's not ended up nicely on the blue at all.
Well, he's looking at
So he's going for the brown. It's going to go up and down the table. He's played it well, to be honest, to get onto the next red. I thought he might have gone into them then, but surprisingly not. And again, he's not put himself the right side of the blue, so he's had to play a brown. Bit of an opportunistic shot. I think he's got a shot on this red into the middle pocket. But then his position for a colour is going to be tricky, and he's got to open something up, which is why he's tried to nudge the reds open there. And I think he can see one, but it's not
Perfect.
really a great opportunity. But he's tried to develop them more with the pink. And he's not done a bad job.
He's lining this one up to the middle pocket.
But I would say by hook or by crook he'll do this. He'll solve the puzzle of the table.
25.
But again, that wasn't the best shot. He's going to have to play into the...
Aiming for the centre pocket.
Well, he's playing to the centre pocket. I didn't realise he could see that one, in fairness. But the key is unlocking those 3 reds. The 2 that are loose are okay, but he'll need those 3 reds, at least one of them, to win this.
31. 32.
He's dead on straight on this black. Doesn't give him much to play with. Played with some side.
39.
So he's going to pot this one that's available.
Tremendous pot.
But then again, he's absolutely straight on the blue.
At the moment.
40.
I was thinking, so he must be able to see one of these reds, but I alluded to it. The key would be
Should try.
those 3 reds, and he's tried to play almost a half safety on them, I suppose you could say, and he's, well, not done a bad job, but there is a nice target up bulk. Just avoid the half chance. Come on, ball. Come on, ball. It's not gone far enough. And if I was Judd,
This is the key shot.
yeah,
If
I'd take
goes
this
in,
on.
You fancy him for the frame.
Yeah, that wasn't good enough from us.
What a pot.
Should have got that cue ball more safe.
And that effectively shuts out his opponent.
Should have
in the
played that with a
frame.
bit more pace. There was a nice target up bulk, as I alluded to. And after a bit of a wayward shot, we made it far too easy for him. So it's on as even after the first 2 frames. No player playing anything that's been too spectacular so far.
11. Should trump 11.
He rolls up to that red and, you know, there's what, 5 snookers we need. 5
Well played.
4-point snookers, so we'll reject that and just move on to the next frame.
Into a very tight match. Both players refusing to give any ground here.
And if we can win this one, then I know it's a bit of a pessimistic look, but if we can win this one, at least we go into the mid-session interval level. I thought he'd mucked that one up, to be honest, but no, played all around the angles there. I mean, if he had got into the pack, to be fair, he wasn't playing with too much pace, so that was one thing on his side.
Brilliantly played.
This safety would be a test of his skills.
We played that a little bit soft, but it isn't going to matter. Oh, he didn't really want to hit that brown. That had got a good angle, that had. It's not ended up too bad now, but he can see the reds. And I have a feeling that if we hadn't hit the brown there, we might have had Judd Trump in a lot of trouble. That's more like it. It's not a bad shot, is it?
Safe to me.
It's not a bad shot at all. He's had to go thick into them. He's had no choice. And either of these 2 reds go. And to be blunt, he's done well to leave that.
It's half a chance, but a chance nonetheless.
How it is. There's no way I'm going for the pot. I don't know what angle this is looking at. We potted the red! Well, I'll tell you something. I didn't mean that. I really didn't mean that. But we'll take it.
1.
Because I think now we can play a nice snooker in behind the green. Just hit it a bit harder just to make sure we get behind it.
That's a fine snooker. Well played.
Didn't expect to pot the red, so, you know, we might as well not take any more liberties. But I tell you what, he's played out of that pretty well. But the red does go to the middle pocket. So we hadn't left anything on apart from that.
At the pot into the left middle.
So this is a half chance at least to get something going in this 3rd frame.
1.
Perfect pace required for this shot.
Just need this to run, as it will do, into the middle pocket.
7.
Well, this is a decent chance now. I'm just checking. Does the black go? If the black goes, then heaven above we have got a chance. It does certainly go. Rub my hands together at that one.
Position looks good for a colour.
Which means we can
8.
have more room to manoeuvre. Ain't got as much pressure of getting onto these reds as the cue ball's not covering so much distance. I'd like to get that one out the way next to what we're going to be queuing to now, because that could be a bit of a pain. This is the black only available to the
16.
one side of the pocket. That's something to bear in mind.
23.
Trouble is, I'm struggling to see how we get rid of that red. Unless we play a very fine shot. Now I'm just looking if we come up for the... if we come up for the blue, what can we get to? I mean, to be honest, we haven't really got any other option, but... just thinking, we play the blue. This is a big stage in this frame, so I think if we can play something good here, then it could open up the table. Does that red pass the black? Hang on, hang on, hang on. I didn't think at all this red passed the black. But it does. See, it is always worth having a check. Let's, what's available. Hopefully we get this right. Yep, it's there. It's a good pot.
24.
Had to play for the pink there. We hadn't really got any sort of angle on the black. But now that was a good shot choice.
30.
And now we've just got to keep this going. It's not easy.
Looking to play this softly.
Tell you what, we nearly mucked that one up. But position's good on the black. I think this time we're going to try and do what we couldn't do in the last frame and actually open up the reds. That will do. That opens things up nicely and should be a good chance now
38.
for 2 each. The crowd didn't seem to like that. Unless there's no crowd there and someone's forgot to put the automated applause on, which wouldn't surprise me.
This is being played towards the left middle pocket.
39.
Butchered position for that, I have to say. We've got a bit of a problem here.
He's taking it on.
That's okay, but I was a bit nervous because those pots haven't been going in recently.
42.
And as we didn't commit too much to that, we've left ourselves a bit hampered. This should be potable, but it's missable.
Not an easy one, but a half chance.
Wow.
He's missed it.
And that was all down
Neil Robertson.
to that red we played to the centre pocket and just got the position completely wrong. A lot of work that was. A lot of work just for a 43 break. And a lot of work just to let Judd Trump have this table. And, you know, you'd be very surprised if he didn't take this chance. So, big mistake that.
6.
It's frustrating, really is. Should have took that by the horns and won it. We had to go for the pot. Couldn't really play safe. But we mucked it up, and this is a great chance.
12.
Left himself right on the cushion here, so this could be a problem. He's played a good recovery, though, there. A very good recovery.
15.
A few cannons helping him out there to slow the cue ball up.
16. 19.
But again, he's taken on a long pot. This is risky. This is risky. And because he's played low-value colours, he's not made as much of this as I think he wants to. I'd be surprised if he missed it at this pace, mind you. Yeah, he's playing for the black.
What a beautiful pot that is.
20.
But all three of these reds aren't easy. Potable, yes, but not easy.
27. 28. 35.
But this should be 2 out of 3. And when you've only got one red to aim for, it can be a blessing and a curse, I suppose. Because if you get it wrong, there's nothing else to go for. If you get it right, well, I suppose not necessarily if you get it right, but if you're only going for that one red, chances are you'll get on it. And that's exactly what Judd Trump has done. And if he pots this, for the first time in the frame, he'll go ahead. This would really rub salt in the wounds if we lost this one.
This should be pretty straightforward.
There's a lack of confidence on that green, ultimately, for us, has stopped us in our tracks. Big black, but it's there.
What a beauty.
Not perfect on the yellow, but this should be okay.
Played that very well.
Can't see him giving up this chance, I really can't.
53. 56.
And just the blue needed. And he takes the lead for the first time. Judd Trump 2-1 up.
71.
And hopefully we can win the final frame of the session.
The frame.
And go into the session, the next one,
Frame in the bag.
all level. But only got ourselves to blame if Judd Trump goes and wins this next frame and we go 3-1 behind. But that again wasn't the best break off from Judd.
Just wants to sink this into the left.
It's a decent chance. I don't think we've played this hard enough, have we? Well, it's all going wrong. It is all going wrong here.
Isn't what you'd expect from a player of his quality.
Well, we'd originally set it up so that we'd have potted that and been very nice on the black. But all of a sudden now, even though Judd played a bad break off, he's going to take advantage straight away.
8. 9.
But, as I alluded to, we'll only have ourselves to blame if we go in 3-1 behind. It's not a disaster, but to know that we've not necessarily gifted him it, that'd be a bit harsh, but to say that, you know, we worked really hard in that last frame and gave it up pretty easily. You know, in the previous frame number 2, Judd hadn't quite done it. We got in again early and Judd Trump had played some shots, needed another red and couldn't get on one, and we could have really played a better safety. So what I'm saying is, if we'd have played well, we could be 4-0 up, but it's not going to happen all the time. Of course, you're going to make some mistakes, or else you win all the tournaments. But from what could have been a good opportunity for us, he's already made 28 here, and it's amazing when you're playing the big colours how quickly that points total can accumulate.
29.
However, I can't see what he's going to get on next.
31.
He's played a good shot there.
32.
It's on a tightrope though, he's going to struggle to too much. I'll say that and he'll come up with some sort of ingenious shot. But he's just picking these off one by one.
39.
Not much angle on the black and that might just be it. That might be end of break, but no, he's playing the one to the middle.
47.
I tell you what, from not much at all to be honest here, yes I know we got the early red as an opportunity, but he's not bust the reds open for a second time. He did it the first time and had some decent success.
Great shot.
But to be honest, he's not, you know, he's not opened them up too much. So to make a 55 break here is pretty good. And if he can pop this red, which he has done, and if he can pop the black, he's 63 up with 68 to play for. And he's just run out of position there.
At all.
63.
So it's a big comeback we need.
Trump. 63.
And you might think I'm stupid, but I'm just going to go for the jugular. Nope. Well,
Wow.
But it's there.
Thrilled with
We
that.
fluked that one. Goodness me.
1.
That's a bit of luck. Might be the bit of luck we need. Might just be the little bit of luck we need.
7.
So let's do what Judd did to us.
Pace is
And this would
very
be even more dramatic. He only needed one more red.
8.
Got to clear everything here, so we've got to stay attentive. Can't afford to play a bad shot at any point. It's got to be all wired up. And if it is, it's a big advantage we're going at the break level rather than 2 frames down.
15. $16.
Now we've got ourselves a predicament here. We're going to have to go to a black ball decider if we play the brown, but that's the only choice we've got.
Well, I'm not surprised he's taking on the long pot here. Great pot.
Because there'll be 43 on. Now, with 43, the gap. So, if we pot everything here, it will go down to a black ball decider. Black ball shootout. But the crucial thing is that we need to pot this black, get on the next red, then pot the black again.
with a lot of power.
But even though we've played that with a lot of power, that is horrible luck. Really is.
28.
I'm half tempted to play a double here, but almost not at the same time, the same breath. It's not quite worked out the way I'd planned, but it should have some covering behind the brown.
Robertson, 28.
But he's played a good shot as well here. I think we're going to struggle here, to be honest.
Pace is
Play a bit of a
and he certainly doesn't want to
hit and hope pot shot here. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think that should cover the red with the brown.
Not the result he was looking for.
But it doesn't, and he's going for a pot, which I don't blame him for. And it's dropped.
Unbelievable pot.
Well, that should be it
That should be it.
for this frame.
Real way for his opponent
It wasn't
to
good enough
demonstrate
from
now.
us. We needed to play perfect snooker.
5.
And at the break, we're going in with a little bit of a deficit. A little bit of ground to make up. But a different session and everything can change. Not a disaster, but definitely work to do. We're going to go in 3-1 behind
14.
at the interval. I think he's snookered himself on the blue here. Which isn't ideal, but we'll concede the frame there. I mean, he's gone in off, but, you know, there's only, what,
Robertson, 5.
44
Yeah.
is the gap. So
Frame
we'll concede the frame there. So not the best start for us, considering we won the opening frame. It's been 3 in a row from Judd Trump. And we'll just play the break off for the second session, the start of the second session. But not the best start for us. I think it's fair to say the first couple of frames of Monday's episode are going to be fairly substantial. But if you enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment your thoughts as well. And subscribe for regular Snooker 19 content. And of course we've left a red off the break off. Can't make these things up, can you? So we're going to have to sit back and watch now.
6.
I wish I could save before I took that break off shot, but you just can't. Because 9 times out of 10 the game the save will corrupt and you have to go back to the start. It's one of the quirks with Snooker 19, as I've learned a few times.
14.
Depends how many Judd makes here, but
15.
if he makes a substantial total, then we're going to have to stay for the rest of the frame.
20.
So I want to keep this true to life with the 4 frame session, but not really much I can do.
26.
We left the straight red off the break off, and Judd's took the initiative. And if we go 4-1 down here, then there is a lot of work to do.
27. 34.
Tried to open them up there, didn't exactly do the most brilliant job in the world.
35. 42. 43.
He's making quite a bit out of this, as you might expect. But that might just be end of break. But I think how far we are into this, it'd be a very strange one to cut away here and come back in the next episode with the rest of this frame. So we will play the remainder of this frame now.
He's fortunate there.
And it's a good pot on the red. It was a definite swerve, and that's exactly what we've done. But there was no real control of position there, so we've just had to play for the pot, and that's it. We're going to have to play safe here. I just don't see the point of playing the blue, because the snooker's a lot harder when you haven't got control of where it's going. Obviously, you've got to hit a red ball, so not a snooker at all, but again, it's a decent safety. It doesn't leave anything on.
Neil Robertson, 1.
It's got a good line. Has it got the length? I don't think it has. Don't think it has. But Judd Trump's missed that. He went for it, and he's missed it.
He's taking this red on.
One thing's for sure, though, our safety's not been good enough so far.
He would have hoped for a better split there.
But our pot's not been too bad. Not got much fortune with the split there, I must confess. But, well, in terms of position, the split's great, but we haven't got great position to develop this. So we need a good positional shot here, which I don't really think we've got. There might be one that cuts into the middle, perhaps.
3.
Yeah, let's play this one, I think.
This is really tricky.
What a fabulous pot that is.
Better straight as you could get. So that's a bit of fortune, and if we can... We've got a good pot on the blue here. That should open things up for us now.
He's taking this blue on.
And if we can win this and get the deficit down to 1, then Monday's session
Outstanding pot.
isn't such an issue.
9.
This needs to be played at the right pace.
10.
That's the added challenge of these games, isn't it? Where you've got to strike the cue ball at the right time, or else you're out of position. As you can see, we are a little bit here, so we're going to have to play a good pot. But the reward will be we'll get on the black.
He's looking at this red.
But only if you hit it hard enough, and we're half on the black.
18.
Not wonderful, though. Position has been a bit wayward so far. And it's not really got any better there.
25.
Now this red does cut. I think it's worth taking on, but we're going to have to play with safety in mind.
He's aiming to sink this into the right corner.
No, we've missed it.
He'll want to
But
try
look where it's
one of
come.
those
That
attempts like
is
that
just
in
horrible luck. I mean, look where that's ended up. You couldn't write it. You could not write it.
Robertson, 25.
And our position is really plaguing us at the moment.
Decent position on the pink here.
1.
And you can lose your confidence very quickly in this sort of situation. Even though we played so well in the previous 2 matches.
8.
Not really here than there, though, in a positional sense. But this that pink, and he's won the frame. So 4-1 down. I wish I hadn't bothered playing that extra frame, but nothing I can do about it, like I say.
15.
So I think we might as well play 2 6s after this now. We're going to play a 6-frame session next time anyway, but Oh, we might have a bit of a spot of bother here, I'll tell you that.
Neil
There's a bit of a twist, but we can't
Let's see what he chooses to do here.
force him to retake that one, unfortunately. Just a little bit of a shame.
He's using the rest here, which makes it a little more challenging.
Bit of a hit and hope. Where's the cue ball going? That's a disaster. Let's just concede the frame there.
Could cost him.
Not a great start for us at
Frame
all.
conceded.
Um,
Frame.
Work to do in Monday's session.
Thank you. The sixth frame.
And if we can win that session, that's all we can do. We've got to win the next 2 sessions to give ourselves a chance. And you'll see the next 6 frames of this saga on Monday. If you enjoyed that, folks, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment your thoughts as well. And subscribe for regular Snooker 19 content. Thank you very much for joining me today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode on Monday. Goodbye for now.